Is there anything worse than seeing your wife in pain? And thankfully for me, it's not physical pain for my wife. It's just sadness. Lost a loved one. I'm sad too. So, especially suddenly have lost a loved one. Just sad, man. And just, driving back from Savannah this morning and just not a damn thing I could do about it. Just be there to comfort her, to hold her hand, to hug her. Just sad. And, you hear all these people griping about their wives or griping about their husbands or, marriage sucks or marriage is for idiots. Look, there's not a whole lot of women on YouTube, at least that follow my neck of the woods on YouTube. So it's mostly men, the stupid MGTOW people and all this. And I always thought MGTOW, I saw a guy a long time ago, his name was MGTOW Bob or something like that. I thought it was like an African name, MGTOW. What the hell? Turns out it's men going their own way. It's about as dumb as it sounds. Oh, how dare you, Josh? Don't you know what my wife did to me? Dude, trust me, man. I get it. Look, I've been doing financial planning, i.e. talking to clients since 1998. You think I haven't seen some complete scumbag women in my career? You know what I'm saying? I've had clients who tell me they thought they had a good relationship with their wife, and the wife comes home one day and drops a freaking divorce decree or whatever it is. He's like, what the hell? We were married for 28 years. You just dropped this in my lap? Dude. Then I've had other, wives had to divorce their husband. The husband was addicted to porn, was out there freaking just, being scumbags, stuff like this. Look, I've heard it all. But the vast majority of my clients, that doesn't mean the vast majority of human beings or your relationships, have been happily married. Married. And it doesn't mean you have to be happily married. It just means you're married. And marriage means that there's two people combining together to have one relationship. And human beings are flawed. So what does that mean? Well, some human beings are going to see things differently than other human beings. That shouldn't really shock anybody. And sometimes you have disagreements. And those disagreements can lead to arguments and sometimes even fights. Hey, now, should you, hopefully you're not out drinking or anything like that, because we don't want those fights to get violent, you know what I'm saying? Like my parents used to be. It's not good. It's not good for a man to get violent towards a woman. It's not good for a woman to get violent towards a man either. But the facts are men are bigger, stronger, quicker. And as such, men have the upper hand. And only scumbag men take advantage of that to put their fury on a weaker person, in this case a woman. You gotta be a real scumbag to say, I'm gonna bring pain on you, weaker woman. Look, it sounds like you're always taking the side of the women. I'm not. A man's role is to lead and be in charge. This is just a fact. So a man should be in charge. A man should be in control of his temper, control of his wits, and should be able to take in charge of the family. That doesn't mean just because you demand it happens. It means at the end of the day, you're the ultimate authority, and as such, you're going to be held accountable for losing your wits, for being addicted to pornography, for being violent, and all that stuff. This is just the way it's supposed to be. That's the way God ordained human beings. A man's in charge. That's just a fact. And so I hear these guys, so a man should be held to more account for a relationship that goes south. Now, trust me, dude, I've heard many times. My wife cheated on me, couldn't believe it. I've heard this a lot. Again, scumbags. I've heard the exact same thing with women. My husband did this. I get it. Scumbags. It's not the majority of the scenarios by far and away. Relationships are two people that combine forces to form one unit that really shouldn't be separated. Now, who am I to say? Look, dude, I've been married for 25 and a half years. Theoretically, it could stop tonight. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And what would I do if it did? I don't know. I don't think about that because I don't want to think about that. I just know that the people I've been dealing with in my financial planning career, many of them have good relationships they've had for a long time. And they lean on each other when times get tough. They don't go their separate ways. They don't hide behind alcohol and all this stuff. They face their problems as a partner, as a team, and they deal with the consequences together. That's the way it should be. And that's the way my relationship with my wife is. Basically, she wears the pants in many things. It's actually kind of funny when we're down there in Savannah telling some stories. It's just kind of funny. Like, some of the things you think I should be able to do, my wife does. Like, I'm not good at putting things together. Never have been, never will be. And I said, look, Shar, I'll do the grunt work, and I'll bring the freaking heavy box in. I'll load it up. I'll unload. I'll do all that. But you got to put together. I just don't have the skill set for it. I don't have the patience. I'm sure I have ADHD. I just can't pay attention long enough to follow the directions well. But you're the man. Yeah, I'll gladly give that pants wearing role over to my wife, 100%. If I want it done right, that is, and I do. I don't want it done like Homer Simpson putting a grill together. So you got your loved one, and your loved one has lost a loved one, and she or he is just saddened. And I want to say despair. It's not despair, it's just sad. And you're just like, you can't do anything about it. It just pains you. You're like, I just wish there's something I could say, some magic words, something to say, hey, it's going to be okay, but there's nothing you can do. There's a book, I think his name's Joseph Bailey, Bayley. He talks about this with Christians. The best way to be a good Christian when someone loses a loved one is just to give them a hug, hold their hands, and be there. Don't say anything. Don't say they're in a better place. Don't say, when I lost my cat, don't say anything. Just don't minimize what they're going through. Just be there. And I think he was a pastor in like the 60s. He had written a couple books. A bunch of books, I think. That's a good, I'll never forget that. I was reading that. I said, man, because you're looking for the right thing to say, and there's no right thing to say. It's just, what do you need? Can I do anything? And then just hold hands, big hugs, and be there. But it just sucks when it's your loved one, and she's just sad because she's missing her loved one, and there's not a damn thing you can do. And you just say, man, maybe ask, like in this case, my wife, you know, we're both Catholics, so she's not afraid to be outright with her faith. But let's just say you come across your loved one or somebody who's in a world of hurt. You say, can I pray with you? Can I pray? No one's going to say no. They're all going to say yes. You see what I'm saying? No one's going to be offended that you prayed. I just think, you know, so we said lots of prayers this weekend. That's all I can do. And it hurts because you're searching. What can I do? What can I say? There's nothing. Just sit there and, you know, and then say your prayers too, without, you know, your silent prayers. And get on your hands and knees, get on your knees and just offer God your words and say, God, help me, help them, because there's not much you can do. Just pray to the Lord, man. And then at some point, your loved one will get over it or she won't. I don't know. In this case, certainly, most likely. But there's nothing you can do about that. All you can do is be the freaking rock of Gibraltar that she needs. That's it. All right. Love your thoughts. God bless. Remember, Christmas is here. It's a good time not to have the guilt of, I just woulda, I just shoulda. It's a good time to reach out and say, man, whatever came between us, I'm sorry. You know, like when I lost my dad, it's weird, man. I don't have any remorse that we had a falling out between my dad and me. Whoa. I mean, I'm saddened by it that my dad and I had a falling out and never talked again until, you know, basically that's it. Since my sister got married was the last time we talked. And that was just basically, you know, hey. But you can't make people want to come to you if they don't want to. You see what I'm saying? You can't make people have a relationship with you if they don't want. And the people who said they don't want a relationship with you are adamant they don't want a relationship with you. There's nothing you can do to change that. You see what I'm saying? So don't feel guilty in that regard. Just don't. It's kind of like I always say. C.S. Lewis says, thy will be done. About God saying to us, when we say, we don't love you, God, God says, okay, thy will be done. And that's You don't have to love me. I gave you free will. We say to God, thy will be done. God does what God's going to do. Not because we allowed him, because God's going to do what he's going to do. We say that with the faith of the Lord, that he's going to do whatever he does. And we hope that we don't suffer. But we suffer all because we always lose loved ones. It's the nature of being a human being. But then if you turn away from God, God says, thy will be done. And the same thing with humanity, with your own people. Obviously, we're not God, but we say, I'd like to continue this relationship on. If the person you want to continue this relationship with doesn't agree, there's nothing you can do there either. Just say, thy will be done. But if there's something going on between you and your partner, you and your friend, you and the loved one, that's been keeping you at bay for a while, for whatever reason, man, nip that in the bud, man. Just say, hey, I know what happened. My apologies. Can we just move forward? So wise choice to do. But if someone's abusive to you, you don't have to do that. My goodness. If you're being abused and all that, you don't have to freaking take it. That's not your responsibility just because of blood to continue to be abused. You don't have to do that. But all right, God bless. We'll see you.